So welcome everybody. I'm gonna pass the mic to Andy Farrell in just a minute for Rising Coaches and Coaches for Change. But thanks so much for getting on. Obviously, an important topic. Andy's gonna kind of get us started, and then we'll get everything going.
Yeah, appreciate you, Brian. If we could just all, we'll take a moment of silence right now before we get started. So if everyone can just be silent for a minute. I don't know what religious affiliations anyone has here, but in talking with Brian, I thought it would be good if it's fine with you guys to kind of open us up in a quick prayer as we're dealing with some of these crazy times that we're in right now. So if you guys don't mind, I would like to say a prayer. If you guys could just bow your heads real quick. God in heaven, we come today, tonight, a group of men and women who are just trying to help right now. Give us strength, give us wisdom, give us discernment in the battles that we face every single day. Some of us facing uphill climbs. Allow us to have strength and wisdom that we pour into our student athletes and to the people around us. Allow us to be here with one another as brothers and sisters, joining in one fight for one another and with one another for change. Lord, we don't know what is in store for us, but we know everything is in your power. Allow us to continue to work for the ultimate good. Allow us to find peace and brotherhood and sisterhood amongst one another. Allow us to be a support mechanism for one another. Allow us to have a foundation of trust and unity, but more importantly, of love and peace. God, we know all things are possible with you and through you. Allow us to be beacons of your love and of peace for one another and with one another, so that one day at a time and through one life that we can impact at a time with one another and with our student athletes, we can be the change that this world desperately needs. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Andy. We're going to keep it moving, try to be as quick and swift as possible in respect of everybody's time. So we'll give it to the CEO of Rising Coaches, Adam Gordon.
Thanks, Brian. And again, thanks for hosting this and organizing this. Thanks, Corey Black, for helping organize as well. I know he's right now working hard behind the scenes to get everyone broken up into groups. I guess this is our fifth, sixth. This is the fourth with All Access Coaches Corner Social Justice Roundtable. And then we did a couple on our own. I've attended some. Women in Sports did a few. And after each one, I feel a little more hopeful and like, we're getting something done. And then, reality comes back and hits you in the face that we got a lot more work to do when you witness what went on with Wisconsin with the shooting of Jacob Blake 7 times in the back. So crazy. I know the timing's, much needed, even though this was scheduled about a month ago. I'm glad it came on this week because I certainly can use it. And even though it's easy to be discouraged, which I certainly have felt discouraged this week, we got to keep fighting and keep sticking together and fight for that change, because I do feel it shifting. It's happening really, really slowly, but I do feel it shifting. So it's so important that we keep our heads up and stick together. And I'm excited to listen and just do anything that we can to help. So Brian, thanks again to you for taking the initiative to put this together. And I'm going to hand it back over.
Yeah, thanks so much, Adam. Thanks for providing the platform. Excited for everyone to be here today. The purpose of the event, I think we all know, just to bring the social equality groups together that are like-minded with a mission, and just have some healthy conversation with whoever decides to join in with us. So we decided to make it a little different this time and make it more interactive with some breakout rooms so we can have more conversation and not just listening only. So we want to make sure we get that set up. Purpose is just to unify us all as best we can to make change within our space of college athletics. The rules and the format we'll kind of go over. We'll have 4 different breakout sessions. Coach Black will get everybody organized. There will be a leader from each group, or at least 4 different leaders from a group that will be assigned. Most of those people know who they are before they got here, according to your group leaders before you got here. And then within that group breakout session, there'll be a question. And so one representative from a group, doesn't matter which group goes first, but one representative will kind of attack the question and just start answering it. And then another group leader will go. All 4 group leaders from each group will go first, and then we'll open it up to the room. Whoever begins the conversation will also be the person that will come back to the main room and recap everything that was basically said in a nutshell. And then we'll go to another breakout room. So we'll explain it again before we get to that point. But before we get to all the breakout rooms, we want to let each group have an opportunity to tell us who they are, what they're about, and just kind of give some opening comments about their group in particular. We've all seen each other's groups from afar. So now it's just a good time to be able to kind of talk a little bit more about it. So we'll start first with Coaches for Change. Marcus King from Tennessee Tech will open up and talk about Coaches for Change. Then we'll go next to Penny Collins from Tennessee State with Embrace Us. And then we'll go Todd Golden with Coaches Coalition for Progress. And then we'll go Dwayne Killings from Marquette for Coaches for Action. So fellas, just go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us about your group in a couple minutes, and then we'll pass the mic.
Great. Glad to see everybody here. Kind of piggybacking off what was said earlier, after the events that we saw this week, I think we all can agree that conversation is much needed. I think for all of us, we have a myriad of emotions that you come with, and hopefully tonight you walk away with something to help you help others with too. Coaches for Change, the biggest thing for us is we got together and designed a mission statement, and what we wanted to accomplish was twofold. One, to be a resource for coaches and for student athletes. And obviously for our student athletes, we all know the more we learn, the more we're educated, the more we're able to empower and evolve them. And that's kind of our 4 E's, are engage, educate, empower, and evolve. And for that to happen, we have to do that as coaches. And another thing that we wanted to really, really focus on with this organization is to help our own industry. There's a lot of inequalities in our own industry that we all can talk about different times we've experienced or we've seen. And I think if we create a better community within the coaching world, as a coach, not men's, not women's, but as coaches, we can help each other evolve and always accomplish something that's going to be more productive. And one thing that I think is paramount right now for coaches of color, there's not a lot of leadership in college basketball. Once upon a time, there was a Black Coach Association. There was a lot more leadership. And I think these organizations can galvanize together and create more leadership to move the industry in a more progressive space.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach, very much. We'll pass the mic to Penny Collins, representing Embrace Us.
Yeah, appreciate you, Brian. Thanks for having me on, man. Really excited to be a part of it tonight. And Embrace Us is, very similar to what a lot of people got going on right now, man. I think if we can all band together, we definitely can put a dent in all the social injustice that we got going on in the world right now, man. I can't even really wrap my mind around it today. Just talking to my team today, man, it's been a tough day, just trying to find the right words to say to them to, make sure they feel good about what's going on. But when I talk about Embrace Us, man, our main mission statement is to transform, empower, and promote. We really want to, create some change and do some different things. The people that are in our organization range from Division I coaches from all levels, high school coaches, athletic directors. We have some administrators, as well as people from different search firms. We even have different agents that represent coaches in our organization. We have motivational speakers to faculty members from different institutions to teach classes. We even have some NBA executives. We have a assistant GM for the Pelicans, somebody from the Pistons, somebody from the Pacers. We just got a well-rounded group right now, and we got some really good initiatives coming down the turnpike here soon. And I'm just really excited to work with the group Embrace Us. So in a nutshell, that's what we got going on.
Thanks, Coach, very much. We'll pass the mic now to Todd Golden for Coaches Coalition for Progress.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you and Adam putting this together, from bringing these leaders and the group members together, and honestly for continuing the conversation around the unjust and unrest that's currently taking place in our country. I started the Coalition for Progress simply with the intention to bring good people together. Obviously an incredibly divisive time in our country. And, the 5 other men that we started this group with, our main goal is to truly empower under-resourced youth throughout the country. After the George Floyd murder, me as a white male had to ask myself what I could do, to do my part. Being a good father, being a good husband, I didn't think was enough. I sat down with Vinny McGee, who's on my staff, one of my best friends, and we started laying the foundation. Then I called 2 of my best friends, Carlin Hartman and AJ Cooper, and asked them to join us. And then Kevin Hovde and Jonathan Sapphire have been really equally as important, just really with the growth of our group. And really, we want to unite people. We want to educate our players. We want to do what we can to give back and provide opportunity and really promote equality in our communities. And I strongly believe now more than ever, it's our responsibility as coaches to take tangible action and start providing solutions through our time, our resources, energy to address all minorities while focusing on the African-American community who are underprivileged and under-resourced. And I think a lot of people right now are wondering how we can all make a difference. And honestly, while posting messages and pictures on our social media pages will keep the conversation going, I just don't think that's simply enough right now. I'm sympathetic and understand the frustration and disgust of our African-American brothers and sisters who don't feel like they're treated equally in our country. While I'll never be able to walk in your shoes, I can see the frustration and disappointment in your faces, and I'm personally committed to doing what I can with my platform here as the head coach in San Francisco and the resources that we have to help laying the playing field for as many under-resourced minorities as we can. I've committed personal financial resources. Our coalition has drawn up extensive and executable plans to get out in our communities, to show our faces, to mentor and lead these young men and women, and to create hope and belief that they can achieve their goals, whatever that may be, and try to provide a pathway for them to experience true equality, whether it's socially, whether it's academically, or whether it's athletically. I'm really proud and incredibly thankful to have started the CCFP with these 5 good men, and we're committed to do what we can to make a difference. And I appreciate you guys having us on tonight.
Awesome, Todd. Thanks so much for sharing. We'll go next with Dwayne Killings at Marquette for Coaches for Action.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for this great platform. With Coaches for Action, it's the 21 minority assistants in the Big East, and I think one of the main things for myself, Kamani Young from UConn, Kyle Neptune from Villanova, and Ivan Thomas from Providence, we were kind of the core group that started it. We felt like, our business teaches us to compete against each other. And there's a bunch of guys in our league that really walk by each other in gyms and never spoke. And a lot of them look like each other. So it was really important for us to come together and create something where we could make impact in our communities and within our leagues and with each other. So we created Coaches for Action. And the word action was very intentional. That was a word that Kyle Neptune really put in front of the group because we wanted to make sure we could take action. There were action items that we could put into our group to make sure that we were accountable and we made sure this group was sustainable. So we engaged with the league office. We had a great presence in the media. And one of the main things we wanted to do is put a Black Lives Matter patch on our uniforms in our league. Really hard conversation to have with our head coaches, with our ADs, with our presidents. But I think the 21 of us got an opportunity for leadership training. You got an opportunity to speak out in the media and represent your programs and your players. You had opportunities to engage with your presidents, your donors about this idea. Luckily, with the partnership with Val Ackerman, Stu Jackson, and with his support, as a Black man in our sport was huge. And they adopted this idea and we'll wear that patch in the season, but that wasn't necessarily the home run for us. That just solidified what we're trying to do as an organization, as a group. We also have a scholarship foundation that we've raised money for, where we felt like it's really important to give other Black kids an opportunity to grow at the universities that we're all employed by. Our student athletes have amazing opportunities to attend these 11 great institutions. We wanted to give that opportunity to other kids. So we're actively doing that. And then now we've done a couple things. Our women's coaches, our Black and minority women's coaches, will join our group this weekend for a call. We've had our minority student athletes come on our calls and talk about their issues, which has been a huge thing, because the one thing I think we learned is that nobody really talks to the players about how they're feeling. How do they feel about COVID? How do they feel about race on their campuses? We want to make sure we're an outlet for them and we represent them properly, because in the end of the day, we're nothing without those guys, and that's part of our mission. And then also we want to make sure that we can bring the women in to be a part of this initiative, because they're going to wear the patch as well. So that was something that was important to us. And then we're coming up with other ideas, because one thing we want to make sure is that it's not just, voting a patch and a scholarship foundation. We want to make sure that we can address a lot of different things in our communities and in our society. But it's been a great partnership with the Big East for us. We think we can do some really, really good things. We think we can tell some really, really good stories, raise awareness, and make an impact, in our communities, in our corner of the world. So it's been great so far. And I think, bringing everybody together is huge, because I think everybody's hearts and energy is in the right place. Now, can we amplify all of our messages by doing some things together? So I appreciate this time.
Awesome. Well said, everybody. So we're going to get out into our first breakout room. Just a couple, just kind of information about how it's going to work. So it'll be a 15-minute breakout. Coach Black has everybody broken up. There's 7 different groups. So there should be at least one representative from each organization in each group. The leader for the first question will be Coaches for Change. So a representative from Coaches for Change will answer the question first, and then you will also be the person that comes back to the main room and speaks on behalf of the group. The first question is, what is one thing that you or your group is doing now for change? And then I'll pass it to Corey Black, and he'll kind of break everything else down.
Got it. Appreciate it, Brian. Hey, I got everyone in a group. Once I open the rooms, you just click join and you'll get in your breakout room. If you do not have that representative of a group in your room, someone just take the lead on that question. And they just keep it rolling, okay? That's all we got. Like Coach said, we got 15 minutes in each room. And you'll get a 1-minute warning, and then it's gonna bring everybody back to the main room. That's all I got, Brian.
Okay, awesome. And Corey is a member of Embrace Us, a representative tonight as well.
Are you ready to rock and roll, Brian?
Ready to rock and roll.
All right, I'm opening now. You'll get a join symbol. Click join to join your breakout room. Everybody should begin a join symbol. Let me assign them to assign you, Coach. Steve, I'm finna assign you one. Just be patient. Coach Johnson, I'm assigning you one. Coach, you good?
Yes, sir. Pause the live stream for me, if you don't mind.
All right.
I just didn't want you
Yeah.
sitting there like,
Good call.
I think it's still going. There we go. Well,
It say recording paused on my end.
okay.
Now I see live. No, I see recording paused.
And then
It say recording paused.
yeah, but then the YouTube thing is different.
Oh, good call. Stop it.
Yep.